It's Click 98.9. It's Jackie, Marco, and Moot inside the studio with Charli XCX. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you for having me.
XCX stands for Kiss, Charlie Kiss.
Yeah, you did your research.
Well, you know, I got people.
Yeah.
So you just did you just like that, or is it cool signing it, or what? Give me the story behind that.
It was actually my MSN screen name. Yeah.
That's funny.
And then when I first started playing, my first ever shows I did were at these kind of like warehouse parties in London.
Yeah.
And the promoter just kind of hit me up online on MySpace, and he was like, "Oh, what should I put on the flyer?" And I just was like, XCX, Charli XCX, and it kind of stuck.
Yeah, I love rave. I love dance music. I'm a big fan of a lot of the underground. That's the kind of music I like. And you started out in that arena, which is awesome. And of course, you're on one of the biggest songs in the country. Now, your song, Boom Clap, that's awesome. And that's doing great.
Thank you.
And that's from the new movie, Our Fault in the Stars, right?
Yes, yes.
That's crazy. How'd you get on that? That's such a big movie to be on.
Well, they just, because the song was actually written like a year prior to me being on the movie. And the producers of the film just heard the song and they really liked it. And I feel like it kind of reflects the story of the two lead characters in the film. So it was sort of a perfect fit. And then it was funny, like the first time I went to see it, I didn't know where my song was going to be placed. So when I heard it, I was like, it's cool. Yeah,
so you didn't necessarily write it for the movie, but it just kind of worked.
No, I didn't write it for the movie at all, but it just kind of fitted together perfectly.
Also on another huge record, I'm So Fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how was it working? Did you actually work with Ziggy Azalea, or did you guys cut stuff in different studios?
We cut stuff in different studios. That rap was actually like an old rap of hers that had been around for a while. And they just asked me to go to the studio to like write some hooks on her record. So I wrote Fancy, and I did a couple of other things that didn't make it onto the album. But she was really feeling fancy, and then like the next kind of thing I knew, we were shooting the video, and that's the first time we met. We met on the video shoot.
Which is funny because you're not in the video for Icona Pop's I Love It, but you actually wrote that song and you actually sing on it, right?
Yes. They didn't ask me to be in the video.
What is that all about? You actually wrote the damn song. I'd be like, yo, what? How those girls seem like they're just crazy.
Yeah, they're fun. They're cool. I mean, they're Swedish, and so like Swedish people are my favorite type of people. They're just like, they party hard and they're great. They're cool girls. I like them a lot.
Here's what I love about you artistically. We just talked about 3 records. You actually wrote I Love It by Icona Pop, which is a cool, riffy, hard, and then Fancy, which is totally rap and cool, and then your Boom Clap has got its own like 80s feel. It seems like, how old are you?
I'm 22.
So 22, and you've covered like 3 different genres right there. That's pretty amazing. Have you always had that sort of music ability, or?
Well, the thing with me is I just never want to do the same thing twice. Like, I think it's boring, and I think all of the greats never did. You know, like Madonna, Bowie, like they're constantly evolving as an artist, and that's what I hope to do also, you know?
Do you have any one of those 3 styles as one your favorite, or?
I mean, the style that's kind of evolved on my record that I'm going to put out in October, that's like my favorite style, which is definitely pop. It's not as kind of like soft as Boom Clap. There is like, I'd say it's like a bridge between I Love It and Boom Clap kind of thing. It's kind of raw and wild, and that's where I'm at, really.
And everyone, you know, they'll say, oh, there's Charli XCX. She's an overnight sensation. Although you've been doing this since how old were you when you started?
14.
Yeah, so you've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
But when you first were driving around, just chilling in your car, and you heard either Fancy, or one you're singing, or Boom Clap, give me that feel. Because I always wonder, like, from artists, like, when you driving around, you hear it on the radio, you're like, damn, I'm on the radio. Like,
yeah,
was that cool?
I mean, it was like that. It's really weird. It's really weird. Like, especially with Boom Clap, because I kind of became used to hearing my voice, like with I Love It and Fancy, and you know, it's always cool hearing Fancy in the car, especially when you're like being driven by someone, because people like love to drive to that song.
Yeah, it's good.
They're kind of like feeling kind of gangster and stuff, so that's cool. But Boom Clap, like whenever that comes on, I'm still inside. I'm like, like I freak out.
Did you buy something? Was there a time in your life you're like, you know what, I finally made it, I'm going to get something, or have you been pretty casual with your, you know?
I bought a house. That was probably my big splurge.
In the
I
States
guess.
or in the UK?
In the UK. I want to turn it into like a kind of like 70s, like dream boogie nights kind of world, you know, like
Right.
I'm carpeting all the walls and stuff like that. It's gonna be cool, but that's like the only. I don't really like make like I mean, maybe I do make weird purchases. I don't know, but like that's the main thing that I'm very excited about currently.
People get excited to meet you now. You're becoming famous, and more so every day. Each time the charts come out. Are you starstruck by anybody? Have you met anybody like, my God, I'm standing next to Madonna? Or there's
yeah, I mean, like there's like Gwen Stefani was at the VMAs, and I was like day before yesterday, and I was just like, you know what? She's just so cool. Like she's the only person I like care about here. Like she just is still like on her A game. Like I just think she's awesome, you know. So yeah, she's cool. And then I don't know, like my like weird celebrity crushes are just like really strange. Like Bill Murray, I'd be like really starstruck if I met Bill Murray, you know.
That's funny. That's good. Well, song's doing great. Your career is off and running, and we really appreciate you taking 5 minutes to hang out with us here.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me.